Hey there, it's Desiree. Coming to you really quickly with a brief live stream on an important topic. You know, I help people close the gap between where they are right now, like the amount of money that they're currently making and where they know they should be by now. So typically my clients have years worth of experience. They've been able to help their clients get amazing results, yet they're still they're still not receiving the kind of money that they know they should be making, even though they work really hard. And typically when someone first starts working with me, within the first month, they add $50,000 or more to their revenue. And, you know, sometimes I feel a little bit self-conscious talking about that kind of result, because I know that there are a lot of people who don't believe me. There are a lot of people who think that, you know, the numbers are made up, and they're not. And so I really wanted to share with you what it takes for my clients to get there, because it's often not what you think, right? You know, it's not about adding more people to your list. It's not about spending thousands of dollars in ads. It's not about, you know, working yourself into the ground, right? It's not about working 24/7. The reason why my clients are able to experience such a shift, such an increase in their revenue in such a short period of time is because of a few key things. Number one, they stopped doing a lot of the busy work that they were doing before. Oftentimes people get stuck doing busy work because they're afraid of doing the real work. Sometimes they don't even know what the real work is, right? So they start doing things that they see everyone else in the marketplace doing. And I'm a big fan of zigging when they zag, because, you know, you don't want to follow what everyone else in the marketplace is doing, because most people are getting it wrong. Most people are working themselves to the bone and not seeing the results that they want. So one of the first things I do with my clients is help them simplify their business, cut out a lot of the busyness, and just focus on the things that are going to generate revenue, okay? Obviously, if you guys have been following me, you know that I help my clients charge higher end fees. So typically that looks like anywhere from $10,000 to $100,000. So they're making a lot more money with a lot less sales, so they don't have to work as hard. And you know, when you're properly compensated, you show up more powerfully. You're able to serve at your highest level. And so typically your clients are going to renew with you. They're going to send you referrals. So again, it's a lot less work, but more money coming in. All right. Another thing that my clients are doing is they decide to go all in. None of this, I'm not sure if I'm ready crap, right? You have got to nip that shit in the bud. You were born ready. When the desire comes, when you have that desire, you are ready. The question is, are you going to go all in? And that's the thing. That's the area where most people falter. They start backing down. They start thinking, well, I don't know if I'm ready. But you are ready, right? You don't need more time. I wrote about this earlier today. You don't need more time. You need more faith. You need to trust, right? When the desire comes, you need to trust in the desire, surrender to it, and do whatever you need to do to fulfill it. Because if you don't, it will not go away. It'll be like that persistent dream. It will keep nagging at you. So you can jump from program to program. You can keep, you know, lowering your vision, but eventually you're going to have to do something about it. The question is when. Are you going to wait until you burn out of all your, not only financial resources, but, you know, you burn out of hope? Are you going to wait until you literally run out of energy because you're so exhausted from doing what you've been doing? You know, if you continue to keep your ceiling low, it's not good for you, for your, you know, your sanity. It's not good for your clients. It's not good for your family and the other relationships that you have. It's just not a good thing. We are here to perform at our highest level. We are here to fulfill our potential. And if you continue to keep your ceiling low, don't think that that's going to get you anywhere, because it's not, right? So the second thing is, so the first thing is they decide to go all in. None of this back and forth, am I ready crap. It's I'm ready and I'm going to do whatever it takes to achieve the result, right? The second thing is faith. Well, like I said before, you have to be willing to strengthen your faith. This is an area where I see people give in too much. This is an area where I used to give in too much. What I would do is I'd set a goal and I'd say, I'm going to go for that. And as the deadline drew nearer and I didn't see the result or I didn't think I saw any signs that I was manifesting the result, I would go into fear. I would go into lack. You don't want to do that. You have to, no matter what, find a way to stay faithful, right? Doubt is the only sin here. So you have to find a way. Hey, Erica, how are you? You have to find a way to stay faithful. That's the only way you're going to get to the other side. if you continue to allow what you see in your physical reality, which is a manifestation based on your past thoughts, feelings, and actions, then you will never get to your goal, right? You have to have faith in the face of what you might perceive to be defeat, right? And you want to make sure that you're looking for the lessons in those experiences that you might perceive to be defeat. If you use that lesson as proof that you will manifest whatever it is that you desire to manifest, it must manifest, okay? All right. You have to be willing to eat, this is the third thing, you have to be willing to eat rejection for breakfast. This is another area where I hear a lot of people say, well, I'm not going to do this, and I'm not going to do that, and I'm not going to do that, right? I'm not going to prospect. You know, I am not going to, you know, stay on the call until the person, and challenge people, like probe them in terms of the questions that I ask them until they get upset with me. Or, you know, any of the things that people are typically afraid of. They're always, I'm not going to do, or I already know that, or I already tried that and I haven't gotten a result. You got to stop that nonsense. Because if you allow the fear of rejection to stop you, not only will you not get to your goals, but you won't become the person that you need to become in order to sustain the goals. Like, here's the thing. I'll give you a perfect example. I have a multiple six-figure business now, on track for 7, right? High multiple six figures at this point. And there was a time when I would do 6 figures a year, back to back to back. But I couldn't break past that. I kept getting stuck there and I didn't understand why. And the reason that was happening was because I was afraid of rejection, right? I was afraid to do the things that scared me because I didn't want to deal with, what if someone says no? What if someone gets upset with me? What if someone, whatever, right? Whatever shit I was making up in my head. And I was so afraid of rejection. And it wasn't until I stopped allowing myself to be afraid of people who, for most of the case, are afraid of themselves, right? They're in pain themselves. Sorry about my dog. Sorry about my dog. Lily Bean, come. Hey, Stephanie, how are you? Hey, Lamora, how are you? Anytime somebody like a mailman comes, she gets all crazy. So anyway, I would be so afraid of rejection, but it held me back. And what I realized was, number one, you have to stop putting people on a pedestal. Even if you are prospecting up, let's say, even if you're reaching out to people, or people are even coming into your world, because I would have a mix. I'd have people that I was reaching out to. I'd also have people reaching out to me, and they feel like clients that may be intimidating to you. Stop putting them on a pedestal. You have to learn how to just see people as people, regardless of their accomplishments. Because if you don't, Lily Bean, come. If you don't, what's going to happen is you're not going to be able to be present enough to properly serve the other human being that is showing up, showing up in your world, whether they're showing up in your private message, whether they're showing up on your phone calls, whatever the case may be. So it's very important that you stop being afraid of people saying no. You also stop being afraid of people that you perceive to be at some other higher level than you, whether it's that they appear to be more successful financially, personally, whatever the case may be. You've got to be willing to go after those folks, right? Or you've got to be willing to see yourself as someone who can help those folks, instead of allowing yourself to shrink back because you're afraid of rejection, all right? And I already touched on this, but I was going to say the last thing is ignoring your physical reality. Again, what you're currently experiencing, whatever those circumstances might be, if they do not look like what it is that you desire to manifest, then you have to know that that is only temporary. So you have to persist. Let me see if I can remember a quote. I don't know if this is verbatim, but I'm going to share it with you anyway. It says, focus only on what you want. Force your expectations to keep pace with your desires. I believe that is a quote by Raymond Hollywell. I say I believe because I don't remember if I'm paraphrasing or if that's the exact words that he used. But the point is, you have to force your expectations to keep pace with what it is that you're desiring to create, regardless of what you see in your physical reality. That is an area where people fuck up all of the time. They keep thinking, well, I'm doing this, and I'm doing that, and I'm doing this, and I'm not seeing the results, so it's not working. And then that's when you start going into this place of lack, you start going into the place of doubt and fear. And when you go into those places, you can often feel it in your body, right? You might feel tension in your shoulders, you might feel something in your stomach, like And basically what you're doing is communicating to your body or through your body that you don't believe that you can achieve what it is that you set yourself out to achieve, right? And so at that point, it doesn't matter what action you take, you will likely not manifest what it is that you're wanting to manifest, because the emotions that are going through your body are counteracting the actions that you're taking, all right? So you have to really check yourself and not allow your emotions to run haywire, so that you can actually bring into you or call into you what it is that you desire. This is a thing that I see people screw up a lot. It's something that took me a very long time to really master. And to be honest, I still work on it, right? It is making sure that you are not, what's the word I'm looking for here? That you basically, you're not counteracting your manifestation or your desired manifestation, because you're allowing yourself to go into fear, because you're allowing yourself to go into to doubt, right? Or focus too much on the lack. So you have to be able to, and oftentimes when I'm with clients, what I do is I help them come up with their own, basically like a toolkit of strategies that they can use whenever they feel that fear, because we're human, right? Whenever they feel that fear come up and threaten to take them out of the game, there are tools that they have that they can use to pull themselves back, to not allow themselves to go into basically a negative downward spiral, right? Now, this is not about ignoring how you feel. Your feelings are very useful to you, right? Your feelings are what allow you to manifest, which is why it's so important that your feelings should be in alignment with what it is that you desire to manifest, not the opposite of that, right? So you don't want to ignore your feelings, but you want to be able to be very aware of your feelings, and you can do that by being aware of your body, right? You want to be very aware of your feelings so that you know how to change your state so that you can continue to move toward what it is that you desire to manifest. So I just wanted to give you guys some insight on what my clients are actually doing in order to get to typically add $50,000 to their revenue within the first month, all right? Again, it is not what people think. It is not about, you know, having a whole bunch of people on a list. It's not about spending tens of thousands of dollars in ads. It's not about working 24/7, right? There's just a couple of things that we do. And I'm going to invite you guys. Hey, Grace, how are you? Hey, Michelle, how are you? I'm going to invite you guys to go back and watch the replay if you're just joining me now, to get all of the insight that I broke down for you. But essentially, you know, you really want to be able to simplify your business, right? Create higher end programs. That's the way my clients like to do it and how I like to do it. Typically, my clients like to work with their clients in a very intimate way. They prefer high touch type of service, and you can do that also in a leverage way. It doesn't have to just be one-on-one. And that's how they're killing it, right? So please know that it's possible no matter where you're starting from. And people have gotten these kind of results, you know, starting from like $2,500 a month, right? So you don't even have to already be at consistent 10K months or anything like that to see these kind of results in a very short period of time, if you are willing to do the real work. You guys always hear me talk about doing the real work, because anyone can teach you strategy. Anyone can teach you about lead gen and all that kind of stuff, right? But if you are not doing the real work in order to get sustainable results, what you will see is this: the up and down, the up and down, the up and down. And a lot of people in this industry struggle with that. I struggled with it for a long time. That's how I figured out what to do to actually get to a place where your results go like this, right? That's what you want. Doesn't mean that there aren't going to be a couple of dips every now and again, but it'll be dips like this versus dips like this, right? Big difference. All right, so if you want some support in your business, if you want to have a conversation with me, and I want to stress that this is just an invitation for a conversation. I do not take everyone that I speak to into one of my programs, but if you are interested in how you can actually close the gap between where you are right now and where you know you should be in terms of the money that you're making in your business, and you want to be able to do that in a way that doesn't require you to sacrifice quality time with your family and do this, you know, and not have the time or the freedom to do the things that you enjoy in life. Look at me, I'm sweating to death. Look, it's hot and I keep drinking tea. I don't know why I do that. Anyway, if you would like that kind of support, reach out to me, send me a private message, and we'll talk about what that could look like, because I really am passionate about helping more people who are talented, who have so much to offer to their clients, also be properly compensated for that as well. All right. So I hope you got some value out of today's video. Invite people to watch it, share it, and reach out to me via private message if you would like to have a conversation about how I could help you. All right. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.